Well, howdy ho, Stampers. Welcome back to my studio. This is Deb Valder. I always love having you stop by for some craftiness, and today I'm so excited. I'm going to show you a mini series on one little die set to show you all of these cards right here. Each and every one of them has different techniques in there, so I wanted to do them in little mini series so that if you wanted to ever go back and just look at one, you could do that without having to sit through all of them. All right, so the die set that I'm going to be using is this little guy right here. All right, it's called Floral Squares, and it's just so very versatile. You get all of these dies in the set, and they're in our shop, so make sure you click on the little eye above. That'll get you right to the shop, and you could start shopping away. All right, so let's get started with our series. So another one we're going to do in this series is this little guy right here, and we're actually using 2 of the windows. All right, so let's bring that back in and show you which one. We're going to be using this little guy right here, and we're going to be using this little guy right here. All right, so what I did was I cut out 2 of those, and you know I work smarter, not harder, so I just grabbed 2 of these. There's this one, and I must be out of the other one, so I'm going to have to, oh no, there it is. Okay, so there's that one, and this little guy right here. So those are the 2 that, these are the 2 that I used, all right, and then we are ready to go. So I took these 2, I colored them. Here they are all colored. All right, you didn't need to see me color. All right, so there's those. And now we're ready to put it together. So the next thing that I did was I ran my die. Okay, that's this little guy right here. That's the Peekaboo Window 4. All right, so this is the Peekaboo Window 4. I've shown you this before. I've done many things with this. I saved these 2 little pieces because I don't need them for this. And I have those for 2 other little projects. I saved them in one of my little envelopes. And I'm going to save my little circles too, because you never know when you're going to need a circle. So you'll see that I've got them all saved in here because I use this all the time. All right, so you'll see me using those squares later on down the road. All right, so I cut that out of there. So I've got that piece. I've got my 2 little guys right here. The next thing I did was I cut up out of our pack of paper. This is one of our 6x6 pieces of or packs of paper, and I'm just going to use this piece right here and cut it up. Now what I did was I cut it just a hair below what my base card is, so that I could still see my base card, and it was smaller than this piece right here. All right, the patterns that are in this paper, I don't know if I showed you or not, okay, are they're just absolutely beautiful. They're just so delicate and so dainty and pretty. So that is also in the shop. And now what we're going to do is put it all together. So the first thing I'm going to do is add my, we can get these little guys back on here. We're going to add the pattern paper to the back of my base card. All right, now remember, it's just a hair smaller. All right, and now we have to add this little guy right here. But before we do that, we have to add our little flowers. So you'll see that this is just not going to fit right in there. So what I did was I actually cut this off and added it that way. So I'm going to take this one and add it up there. And I'm going to take this one and add it down to the bottom. All right, and the way I did that was using some of our little tiny squares here. All right, so we're going to flip this over. So what I did was I said from your best friend, and that comes from, I use this all the time, okay, my Huggables. One of my favorite, all-time favorite sets is Huggable. As you can see, I use it a lot. But that's where I got from your best friend, and I used our detailed embossing powder, white, because it is such a fine set of letters that you really want detailed embossing powder. So make sure that, because otherwise if it's chunky glitter or embossing powder, it will skew the words or the letters. All right, so that's important. Let's flip this over, and we're going to take some of our little squares. All right, so this guy right here is going to go from the top to the bottom. So he's going to go over here. And to me, it looked like one friend to another, okay, from your best friend. And I just thought the little flowers looked like they were adorable. All right, so I'm going to put that right there. I'm going to add one of my little foam squares right here. And then we're going to add this one down to the bottom. All right, so that one's looking down that way, and this little guy is going to be looking up this way. All right, flip it over. Add one of your little foam squares. All right, and then the rest of them are just going to get added with foam squares. All right, let me take two big ones. I'm going to put a big one here and a big one here, and then just pepper it with these little guys. Okay, and the last two that we want to do is this one and this one. Okay, and let's just clean these little guys up. All right, and then add this. And there you have, you can put your little saying right there, and there you have this little guy right here. So we kind of manipulated this one. Another way to use this amazing set, it's just gorgeous. So if you have any questions, oh, let's look at the rest of our cards. I always try to show you the rest of the cards in case you're only watching one of these. All right, so here's the one we just did today. So here's that one. We've done this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. So there are 6 dies, but we only have 5 cards because I used 2 on this one right here, the one we did today. All right, you take care, have a great day, and make sure you watch the rest of these because we've got some more really cute little tips to go along with it. Have a great day. Thank you.